Transformation is fundamentally about embracing change in every aspect of our existence, in our thoughts, actions, and emotions. This journey of transformation is rooted in the process of stepping beyond the boundaries of our ingrained subconscious habits and patterns. Our subconscious mind, over time, develops routines and behaviors that are so deeply embedded that they often operate independently of our conscious awareness. These automatic habits and responses have become so ingrained in our daily lives that they seem to take on a life of their own, with our bodies executing tasks with mechanical efficiency, bypassing the need for conscious thought. In many cases, our bodies become repositories of learned behaviors, reacting and responding to situations based on past experiences and conditioning. This means that much of what we think and do is a replay of old patterns, leading us to live in a state of autopilot where our actions and reactions are predetermined by our past. The danger of this lies in the fact that living in such a way confines us to a very limited scope of experience. Our future, instead of being a realm of endless possibilities, becomes a mere extension of our past, predictable and unchanging. This predictability leads to a state of stagnation where growth and development are stifled. When we are trapped in the familiarity of our past experiences, we close ourselves off to new opportunities and experiences. Our world becomes smaller and our experiences narrower as we tread the same paths repeatedly, both in our minds and in our actions. This cycle of repetition reinforces the same neural pathways in our brains, making it increasingly difficult to break free and embrace new ways of thinking and being. To truly transform, we must recognize these patterns and consciously work to break free from them. This requires a deliberate effort to think differently, to challenge our established patterns of thought, and to open ourselves to new perspectives and ideas. It also involves acting differently, stepping out of our comfort zones, and engaging in new behaviors that may feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable at first. Similarly, feeling differently is about allowing ourselves to experience a range of emotions, particularly those that we have previously suppressed or avoided. Deciding to step out of one's comfort zone marks a critical turning point in the journey of personal growth. It's a momentous decision that involves venturing into uncharted territories, both mentally and physically. When we take the leap to engage in new activities, whether it's attending a life altering event, diving into a new hobby, or embracing practices like meditation, our body and mind often react with resistance. This resistance is an instinctual response rooted in a deep seated fear of change and the unknown. This resistance can manifest in various ways. Physically, it might appear as tangible symptoms, a sudden onset of fatigue, unexplained aches, or even a general sense of discomfort. These physical manifestations are the body's way of signaling its discomfort with the new and unknown, a kind of nonverbal protest against stepping out of the well trodden path of routine and predictability. On the mental and emotional front, this resistance often takes the form of negative thought patterns. The mind, in its quest for safety and predictability, conjures up a multitude of reasons why embarking on this new path might be risky or unnecessary. Doubts and fears start to surface, with thoughts like, "What if I fail?" Or "This isn't going to work for me." These thought patterns are the mind's defense mechanisms kicking in, trying to steer us back to the familiar grounds of our comfort zone. This resistance to leaving the comfort zone is deeply ingrained in our psyche. Over time, our brains become wired to seek safety and avoid risk, leading us to favor the known over the unknown. This preference for the familiar is a survival mechanism, deeply embedded in our subconscious, making the act of stepping out into new experiences feel daunting and overwhelming. However, it's important to recognize that this resistance is a natural part of the growth process. It signifies that we are on the brink of change, about to embark on a journey that has the potential to transform us. Understanding and acknowledging this resistance is the first step in overcoming it. By recognizing that these physical and mental responses are merely signs of our evolution, we can begin to approach them with curiosity rather than fear. Overcoming this resistance requires patience and persistence. It involves gently pushing our boundaries, taking small but steady steps out of our comfort zone. Each step, though it may be accompanied by discomfort, brings us closer to new experiences and personal transformation. It's about retraining our mind and body to embrace change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to our safety. Confronting change often triggers a primal protective mechanism in our minds, compelling us to envision the worst possible outcomes. This instinctual response, deeply rooted in our evolutionary past, is designed to safeguard us from potential dangers and threats. However, in modern times, where physical threats are less prevalent, this fear response can become an impediment to our personal and emotional growth. When faced with the prospect of change, our minds, in an attempt to prepare and protect us, often leap to catastrophic conclusions. We might imagine failure, embarrassment, loss, or a myriad of other negative outcomes. This tendency to focus on potential negative consequences is known as catastrophizing. It's a form of cognitive distortion where our mind exaggerates the perceived risks and dangers, often blowing them out of proportion. This fear response, while natural and sometimes beneficial in genuinely dangerous situations, can become a significant barrier to growth and development in everyday life. It leads to a contraction in our energy field, a kind of inward retreat where our mental, emotional, and physical resources are conserved for survival rather than expended on growth and exploration. This state of constant vigilance and preparedness for the worst case scenario keeps our bodies and minds in a state of chronic stress and fear. Living in a prolonged state of fear has far reaching implications. It conditions our bodies to remain in a heightened state of alertness, ready to respond to threats that are more perceived than real. This state of constant arousal can lead to various physical and psychological health issues, including anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances, and a weakened immune system. Moreover, this fear response inhibits our ability to embrace the unknown and explore new possibilities. The unknown is often where growth, learning, and development reside. By allowing fear to dominate our decision making, we limit our potential to only what is familiar and comfortable, thereby missing out on the rich experiences and opportunities that lie in uncharted territories. Furthermore, this tendency to anticipate the worst can become a self fulfilling prophecy. By constantly focusing on negative outcomes, we may unconsciously direct our actions and thoughts in a way that makes these outcomes more likely to occur. This negative thinking pattern reinforces itself, creating a cycle of fear and avoidance that can be difficult to break. To move beyond this limiting state, it is essential to recognize and challenge these fear based thoughts. This involves questioning the likelihood of these worst case scenarios actually happening and examining the evidence for and against these fear driven beliefs. It also involves practicing mindfulness and stress reduction techniques to lower the body's arousal state and retrain the mind to focus on more balanced, realistic outcomes. Change, a pivotal aspect of growth and development, is achievable through the concerted effort of retraining both the body and mind to function in new and adaptive ways. This transformative process requires a heightened level of presence, particularly during times when our emotions are intensely felt. By being fully present, we engage with our experiences more directly and authentically, rather than being driven by automatic habitual reactions that have been ingrained over time. Being present in the face of strong emotions involves a conscious effort to observe and acknowledge these feelings without immediately reacting to them. It's about creating a space between stimulus and response where choice and awareness reside. This mindfulness allows us to recognize our habitual patterns of thought and behavior, which are often the culprits behind our resistance to change. By identifying these patterns, we can begin to consciously moderate our responses. Moderating our responses is a skill that can be developed through practice. It involves learning techniques to calm the body and mind, such as deep breathing, meditation, or gentle physical movement like yoga or Tai Chi. These practices help in reducing the intensity of our emotional reactions, allowing us to approach situations with a clearer, more balanced perspective. Over time, as we consistently apply these techniques, our body learns to default to a state of calmness rather than agitation in response to stressors. This retraining also extends to our mental processes. It involves cultivating an attitude of curiosity and openness, replacing judgment and fear with a willingness to explore and understand. This shift in mindset is crucial in moving away from rigid, limiting beliefs and towards a more flexible and expansive way of thinking. As we open our minds, we become more receptive to new ideas, perspectives, and ways of being. Gradually, through consistent practice, this approach leads to a fundamental change in our baseline state. Our bodies and minds, once accustomed to operating under stress and habitual reactions, begin to embrace a new norm of relaxation and openness. This new state not only enhances our well being, but also increases our capacity to embrace change and new experiences. We become more adaptable, resilient, and open to the flow of life. Furthermore, this transformation has a ripple effect on our overall quality of life. When we operate from a place of calm and presence, we are better equipped to handle challenges, make more thoughtful decisions, and engage more deeply with others. Our relationships improve as we can approach them with greater empathy and understanding, and our professional life benefits from our increased ability to focus, innovate, and adapt. The culmination of the transformative journey of change is marked by a profound act of surrender. This surrender is not one of defeat, but rather an embracing of a new paradigm of thought and existence. It is a conscious decision to let go of old patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that no longer serve us, and to open ourselves up to new possibilities and ways of being. This act of surrender is both liberating and empowering, allowing for the release of pent up energy that has been held back by resistance and fear. As this liberated energy flows freely, it often finds its way to our hearts, the center of our emotional and spiritual being. This energizing of the heart space is transformative, enabling us to view ourselves and our lives with renewed love and appreciation. Falling in love with ourselves is a crucial step in this process, as it signifies a deep acceptance and understanding of our true selves, warts and all. This self love lays the foundation for a more authentic and fulfilling life. Additionally, this final stage of transformation involves learning to see and appreciate the beauty that life has to offer. It's about developing a sense of wonder and awe for the world around us and for the miracle of life itself. This new perspective allows us to experience life's true essence, to feel more deeply, and to connect more genuinely with others. It fosters a sense of gratitude and contentment, enriching our daily experiences. The journey to this point can undoubtedly be fraught with challenges and obstacles. The path of change is rarely linear or smooth. It often involves confronting difficult truths, facing deep-seated fears, and pushing through periods of doubt and discomfort. However, each step, each hurdle overcome, contributes to our growth and brings us closer to this final stage of transformation. The result of this journey is a profound and lasting change that permeates every aspect of our being. It's a transformation that not only affects how we think and feel, but also influences how we interact with others and how we perceive the world. We become more empathetic, understanding, and compassionate, not just towards others, but also towards ourselves. Moreover, this transformative process has a ripple effect, extending beyond our personal growth. As we change, our relationships evolve, our work becomes more meaningful, and our impact on the world becomes more positive. We start to live more purposefully, guided by values and principles that resonate with our true selves. In essence, the final stage of transformation is a journey towards wholeness and harmony. It's about aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our deepest values and truths. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that is both deeply personal and universally impactful. The challenges faced along the way are overshadowed by the profound sense of joy and contentment that comes with truly falling in love with ourselves and life all over again.